Hey everybody, Kevin here with Kevin's Way Works. So I have to do a late night car repair. It's about 9:15, 9:20 p.m. and my daughter's going to be leaving early in the morning to go back to school. And this guy needs 2 new oxygen sensors. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get those thrown in so she'll be ready in the morning to head back. So let's go ahead and do this. Kevin's Way. All right, let's get this hood open. I'm sorry guys, I'm going to be in and out of the light. There's going to be airplanes, there's going to be birds. Actually, there won't be birds chirping. There's going to be insects making noise all night. There goes an airplane. Hopefully I can remove all that sound. But anyway, we're going to get this done, and it shouldn't take too long. So let me get you guys set up, and we'll get these things swapped. This one does not have any type of mechanism to hold it up or lift it, or help you lift it. Got to do it the old-fashioned way. Ooh, can't see a thing. I hope these are easily accessible. I don't want to have to go crawling up underneath. Well, that one's accessible. Problem is there's going to be one. I'll show you guys in a second. I'm just trying to see if I need to get this on ramps or not. Ow. She has an oil leak, that's for sure. Leaking the oil. Actually, that looks like coolant. That's great. Let's check the fluids while we're here. Let's check the fluids. Oh dear. Oh dear. She may not be going bad. She's completely out of coolant. I mean, I'm surprised this car. That's not good. That is not good. That is not good. I mean, where did the coolant leak from? I mean, that's completely empty. All right, let me get you set up. All right, guys, so what I am going to do is I'm going to put some coolant in here, get it filled up, and we're going to put it under pressure. We're going to put a little pressure in a hose, one of these hoses that inlet into it, and we're going to find where this thing's leaking. That's the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to get some coolant. We'll get this guy topped off. All right, guys, there we go. Let's get this guy unscrewed. I'm going to, this is 50-50 mix. You can hopefully you can see that I mixed this up 50-50. It's on the 4/29/2023. So this is already mixed up and ready to go. I want to measure it in so I know exactly how much it took to top this off. So let me get something to measure that with. So I've got this marked at 1 quart and 1/2 quart. I could not get it to mark the 1/2 quart very well because the container was wet. Even though I wiped it off real good, I still couldn't get it to mark. So don't know why. Oh dear, that's not 50-50. Wow, guys, I did not realize that other container had to use transmission fluid in it. That could have been bad. So I've got distilled water. I hope this is I hope this is anticlear. I hope this is Dexcool antifreeze. It is. It looks good. All right, so what we're going to do is fill this to the halfway mark with this. So basically that's a 1/2 quart, 2 cups, 4 quarts. Oh, 4 quarts in 1 cup. And then we're going to do distilled the rest of the way. How do you open the distilled? It doesn't have a little opening thing. There it is. I found it. So, all right. All right, that's approximately 1 quart. So I'm going to carefully pour this in here. Okay, we weren't that low. We weren't that low. We were 1 quart low, which is not too bad. Oh, look at. Where did it leak from? Guys, I saw it leaking. Oh, I think it just leaked out of the overflow. I think I filled it so fast it went out the little hole around the edge here and then came out, I think. But that doesn't, yeah, that would make sense. If the cap's not on, that would make sense. So this has a pressure of 20 psi. We're going to put less than that in it with the air compressor. And what I'll probably do is pick a hose that I can remove, and then I can plug up the rest of the system. And then we can just force less than 20 psi of compressed air into it. And that will help us find the leak. But like I said, we really weren't that far down, just 1 quart. But still, that's a little scary. These engines are known for leaking coolant and then seizing up the engine because it overheated. Let me see what you guys can see. Oh, you actually got a good view. So I'm thinking the safest way to do that is going to be through this hose right here. For some reason, this hose wasn't snapped in where it was supposed to go. This car has a little over 110,000 miles on it, in case you were interested. This one has a Cruze kit, which fixes the issue with the PCV system. My back already hurts. I had to pick up some cabinets, or actually some file cabinets. And they weren't heavy, but they were a little awkward. Now my back's hurting. Ooh, why did that snap off like that? Whoa, don't come out. So we got to block that off. So let me get something I can block that off with. I have this splitter I use. So basically I use this for polishing concrete. This feeds onto a, automotive polishing machine. But then I put concrete polishing pads on it. And this just is what I use to help feed the water. Got a clamp right here, so we can clamp it on here. And then we'll just shut this. Actually, the clamp needs to go right there. So I really need a second clamp. But I can clamp this here, and then I can bend this over and plug that up. So we will make it work. Just be careful. You can break these off very easily. I see it happen. I've seen it happen many times. Now I need a regular screwdriver. Guys, this is supposed to be like a 15-minute job. All right, let's take this guy. There goes another airplane. I'll spend 6 hours removing that from my audio. Be careful. Don't break that. Hopefully 20 psi won't blow this off. Okay, you can't see it, but I have my air compressor on the ground. This hose leaks, fitting leaks. It's quite annoying. Well, we don't have to deal with it for long. We're just going to pressurize this for a little bit and then see if we see anything leaking. All right, so I'm just going to use this guy. I'm going to set this on I don't know, maybe 12 psi. Really hard to set that precisely at that low of a pressure. Of course it leaks. Oh no! I was afraid it was going to do that. Where's it leaking from? I hear a leak. I can't tell if it's leaking from here or somewhere else. It's leaking out from here. That's about 20 psi. I hear something leaking down here. There is something leaking. Oh, I see. All right, I gotta get a flashlight. Device. Oh, it's leaking everywhere. Golly. I think it's leaking here because this has like a safety. Oh my God. Well, I think we found where the leak was. Look at that. You can see it's all cracked and disintegrating right there. So I guess that's where the leak was. I actually have another one of these, but the problem is I'm going to lose all my coolant here. Got to figure out how to stop it. Where did my flashlight go? Wow, that's crazy. Okay. I got a call. I don't have any way to stop that. Stinky, that's Stinkies. Holy cow, guys. I totally realized that I didn't have the microphone hooked up, so I don't know what this recorded and what it didn't. But as you can see over here, we pulled the hose. I had to phone a friend. I had to have my wife come out and help me. We had to pull the hose off the cooling system to drain as much coolant as possible to be able to stop the coolant from flowing out of the broken piece over here. And I'll show you the broken piece in a second, but wow. Unbelievable. It's a good thing she was home because we wouldn't have caught this until it was overheating. And then my daughter would be like, I want a new car. And nope, not unless you can buy your own. All right, guys. See this little guy here? Yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. That's not supposed to be broken off like that. This goes in. I know, guys, this is horrible video today. Horrendous video. Let me zoom out. All right, guys, this is just totally horrendous. Right here. I know, I'm trying to get this glare off the camera. Right here is where this attaches. Basically like this. Now, I don't know how that goes in. I actually have a replacement water or cooling device here. I don't know what they call it. And you can see it has the device on the top here, but there's no nipple or anything on it. So I don't know how it's supposed to attach. This has to come off. It's in my way. Carefully without breaking anything. Drop the clamp is what I did. What we're going to do is pull this off. I want to see what it looks like underneath. I already pulled the pin out. There it is. There's that. Here's the new one. Here's the old one. I don't know how that attaches inside there. So I got to go figure that out. All right, guys, so I pulled that out. And I don't think this was properly reassembled at some point. How that did not come out and spill and make a mess and just seize up this engine is beyond me. Because if you look at that, it's got like a lip on it. Like something's supposed to hold that all together. Well, because there's nothing inside of this. All that was like a nipple with an O-ring on it. How it was staying in there is just really just luck. So I'm going to go online and find out what is supposed to actually be on here so I can assemble this properly onto the car. As you can see right now, it's just a gaping hole. And if you look on here, it's the same thing. That goes in there like that. Holding the flashlight with my mouth. That goes in like that. Something has to hold it on here. This is a case of working on a vehicle that other people have touched who had no business touching a vehicle. Wow. Just wow. That's how that was supposed to go. But what holds that together? Something has to hold that together. So that's my task right now. I'm going to go find out what that is. I'll be back. So here's the nipple that's supposed to go down inside of here. And you can see how inside of it, see that it looks like wet cardboard. The entire inside just eroded and disintegrated to what you see there. And there's this little O-ring that was basically up on the top edge here on the rest of the piece that was here. So this sat up here like this and then went inside of here, and then this is the other piece that was right here. So I went and got a new one. There's the part number. 55354565. And this is a, I'll give you the exact name. I can't remember exactly what we call it. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy open. I'm just gonna use an old razor blade I have laying around. We'll get this guy open and I'll show you what it looks like. So the one that I took off did not even have this connection ring on here anymore. It was completely gone. I don't know if it came off sometime previously or what, but it was definitely not on there. I can't find it anywhere. Made in Germany. So this is the nipple that goes down here. Then obviously your O-ring and then the remainder of the connector. So let's go ahead and we'll take this piece off, get rid of this. We'll connect this one back in down here, hook the hose back up, put the coolant back inside. So got the part, got a paper towel. I'm just going to fold this a few times and until we get a little piece that'll fit up inside of it, like so. We'll get a little bit of brake parts cleaner on here. Not too much, no reason to use a lot. And then we're just going to clean up inside of here. That cleaned up pretty good. I'm going to check it to make sure there's no scratches from when I pulled out the nipple that was in there. Yeah, I think that looks good. So there is an O-ring in here already. This goes down inside here like this. This little connector goes down in here like so. And that holds that nipple in so it can't come out. Go ahead and remove the clip. Ooh. That thing's barely in there. Let's see if we can get it out. Oh no. It broke off inside. Now I got to dig that out. Let me go get a screw that I can get up in there. We'll pull that out. I don't know if this screw is going to be thick enough, but I've got a screw in there. Let's go ahead and see if we can work that guy free. Oh. I think we got it. There it is. So that's just, I can't believe that disintegrated like that. That could have been catastrophic. Absolutely could have been catastrophic. So this hose goes down like this. And then this goes down like this. So let's go ahead and stick that in there. I'm going to take this Made in Germany sticker off. Hopefully, that means it's quality and it's not going to disintegrate. Feels pretty good. Uh-oh. It's okay, the transmission's there, it's not going to go anywhere. Although I did drop a hose clamp down there. Gotta see if I can find that. Alright, there's that. And let's go ahead and connect this back up. So this just snaps on, nothing special, just push it down, it snaps on. And to remove it, you would press, I believe you'd press on the side here, on this plastic, and it'll separate these two ears. There's that. Be careful with these. Now, I've had to replace this container because this right here disintegrated just like that black plastic did. So you just got to be cognizant of that. This may be something you want to actually replace sooner than 10 years, maybe every 5 years, just to be safe. So let's go ahead and push this back on. And let's get this clamp back in position. Just like so. And give this a tug just to make sure your clip is holding. Mine's holding really good. I'm not going to pressure test this again because when I pressure tested it before, I know there's a leak here. I looked everywhere else. There was no sign of any other leaks. So pretty confident that that is where it was leaking from. Plus the coolant I could see below dripping off of the pan was right below this area right here. All right, sorry, that's a little bouncy. We have to put this hose back on. I disconnected this so I could make sure we drained enough coolant so it wouldn't keep making a little fountain right here. This was like a little fountain just shooting up like that. So let's just put this back on. Inspect your hoses while you're doing this. All these hoses look good. I don't see anything else that needs replacing. They make a special tool for these clamps, but these cheap old style wrenches or pliers work just fine. While I'm over here, I'm going to check the oil. This does have a little bit of an oil leak. Underneath, there's oil in the pan, but it doesn't really use any oil. When I change the oil every 7,500 miles or so, the oil is exactly where it was, and I pull out almost exactly as much oil as I put in. So I don't know. It must just be a slow drip. Okay. So this hose clamps into a little slot right here, and I'll get you down there so you can see it. This little slot right here, this hose clamps right in there. And that just holds everything in place. This was actually out. I don't know if I forgot to put it in at some point in the past, but it was actually out, so make sure that's clamped in. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the coolant back in. I'm going to reuse the old coolant. I'm going to filter it through a paper towel just in case any debris got into it, but it's relatively new, and I just added a cord into it, and we pulled that same cord out of this bucket basically. So as I was saying, we need to put the old coolant back in here. It's new coolant. I had just put it in the reservoir. I emptied it out of the reservoir, so we're going to put that back in. We're going to filter this, so I'm going to put a paper towel in here just in case any debris got in the container. So we got a little over a quart, and that's what's going back in. Kind of get yourself positioned so you're low. This may take a little while. I may have to use a funnel. Yeah. Be right back. I'm going to get a funnel. Got a funnel. So basically we're going to take the paper towel and put it in here. That'll give it more surface area to drain through. This really isn't even dirty. Way easier that way. Basically, you want to put something in there to keep the paper towel up. And it's actually better to use a rag than a paper towel for this. But this is good enough. I'm just going to lift it up to give it more surface area to be able to go through. And we might be a little low. We lost some on the ground. Alrighty. Set this aside. Top that off if you want to. Put the cap back on. In case you're interested, that's what this water outlet looks like that goes over here. This is funky plastic contraption. And a lot of people lose their engines because this thing breaks and leaks all their coolant out. Actually, when I first got this car used, one of these screws was out like 1/8 of an inch. Another one was out like 1/16, and this one was barely tight. And it was leaking coolant all over the place. Not brand new. We got it in 2020, so it's 5 years old. We bought it used, second owners. All right. Should be good to go. When we're done, we're going to spray this down to get the coolant all off. Don't want to do it now because I don't want to get all wet when I'm under there working. All right, we're going to rinse this down. Just going to rinse all this antifreeze off of everything over here. All right, guys, I'm just gonna double check my work, make sure everything is clamped and hooked up. Those are the only 3 hoses I took off. I'm gonna blow this down. All right, guys, looks like we're a little low. I'm gonna go ahead and top that off. We shouldn't open that while it's hot. So I'm gonna turn the engine off. We're going to let that cool for a while. We'll pull it up and then we'll add a little more coolant to the engine. All right, everybody. So I don't have any more video of me topping off the fluids. When I got back, my daughter was ready to get back to school. So we just checked things over one last time, made sure everything was good, made sure there was no leaks. I was able to top it off. I just wasn't able to film it. Now I've had her check the level again since she's been back to school and everything is still good. So if you guys have any mystery leaks you can't find on your Buick Encore or any of the other GM vehicles that have this same 1.4 liter turbo engine, you may want to give that location a check. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And as always, thank you for watching Kevin's Way Works.